Alaska, the Great North, a land that knows not of sleeveless shirts. However, here in Pennsylvania, we know of sleeveless shirts for the heat. The heat is rising. Cover Killer Nation, it's time for me to divert from the path of metal once again to speak about another new release that just came out this past week on July the 19th here in 2011, and that is the newest album by Portugal the Man, which is entitled "In the Mountain on the Cloud." Now, this is a band, more of a psychedelic rock experiment that's been around now for the latter part of the last decade, that has constructed some very interesting albums of this variety, and the very high-pitched, the closer to like a falsetto vocals that the lead singer is able to emit is something that makes this band very easy to identify. What's even more interesting about this lead singer is also his unusual upbringing. He was raised in Alaska and was restricted from all of the pleasures that perhaps you and I enjoy on a daily basis, such as electricity, such as the internet. His parents were apparently dog mushers. This is all from information that I have collected through my journeys through cyberspace, researching this band. And it's very interesting. It's very interesting that I find this information, because this album finally starts to make a little bit of sense to me. And it's an interesting parallel, considering I listened to this record a couple of times, and I do enjoy the work a lot. In fact, this is an album that I've enjoyed probably on par with Waiter You Vulture, which is an album that came out what feels like eons ago, but in reality it was just about 7 years or so. However, the parallel there is that whenever I listen to this record all the way through, I almost think as though I'm peering into a musical journal of some variety that this lead singer had been writing for years when living in these conditions as a youth in Alaska. It's a very interesting idea, not to mention it's something that makes this album all the more real to me. Throughout these 11 tracks, throughout these 44 minutes, there's different little undulations in theme. There's different little ideas that are kind of sprouted up here and there. There's different moods, different elements that are captured. There's an overwhelming kind of sunny idea, which almost leads me to believe that perhaps in a place that spends half of its year drenched in darkness, perhaps there is a light that does come throughout all of that guides you through. Now, this is an album that, as I said, spans 11 tracks and is filled with a lot of sunny material. It's filled with a lot of material that is very experimental in nature. You're going to notice a lot of unique little bass patterns. You're going to get some pretty halfway decent psychedelic rock moments in there, some really good riffs, a couple of solos thrown in there. You're going to get some exceptional little fusings in of other instruments aside from that, such as a horn or the like. And overall, the experience is captured very well, and you yourself as a listener are left approaching each and every track with a blank slate, because you're not 100% sure what's going to hit you next. And this variety, this real, I guess, very abstract painting of an album is a fantastic little slab of psychedelic rock, or of alternative rock if you really want to go into that department. Mainly because it's not alternative that is done kind of in a paint-by-number approach. It's one thing that a lot of alternative bands sometimes really get sucked into, especially nowadays where everything's kind of been oversimplified to death in the genre. This is a band that colors outside the lines. They're willing to use different colors to color outside the lines, and if they really want to, instead of just using crayons, they'll go to markers, or they'll go back to pencil, or they'll go to pen, or they'll just bleed on it. Yeah. This is really a creative work. This is something that I've really enjoyed from front to back, now through multiple listens, and it's something where I always constantly find something a little bit different to really appreciate on this album, whether it be a riff here, a riff there, a song here, a song there. This is an album that constantly seems to evolve whenever I listen to it, and that is one, or should I say another thing that is extremely positive about this record. That makes it extremely accessible to people that enjoy metal, people that enjoy rock, people that enjoy folk, people that enjoy just about any variety of music you can think of, with the lone exceptions being probably rap and opera, because I don't see any opera anywhere on here, although you could almost say, in a way, this is its own little rock opera. I see these as musings of a man that grew up very differently than you and I. I see it as a glimpse into his soul and a glimpse into his life, almost as though he's attempting to paint this picture, or actually a better metaphor would be he's shooting this movie. He's following you. It's like a documentary. And he's taking you back to the house that he grows up in. He's taking you back to the life that he's grown up in. And you walk through that door, you walk into his room, you go to all the familiar places that he knew whenever he was young. And you experience life through his eyes for 44 minutes of your time. It's a great idea. The album itself sounds very well done. This is an Atlantic release, and this is their second from Atlantic, and it is very well constructed. This is an album that is kind of out in left field for me, or you would think. I've actually enjoyed these guys for a couple of years now, but it's one that I'm willing to not only share with you, but also highly recommend to all of you. I like where this album goes, I like how introspective it seems, and I like how personal it feels. And I believe these are all items of interest that you guys will want to share and experience as well, both yourself and with others. I bring you into my home each and every time that I do a video, although you see the same drab walls and posters, you see the same mugshot, the same face, the same glasses, the same hair, the same shirts perhaps, each and every day. For 44 minutes, live the life of somebody who's lived differently than us. Somebody who would not be able to watch these videos. In fact, somebody who wouldn't even be able to call you if he wanted to. Take care.